what was the thing that you said about, if Florida played Oregon State, they would win by 100 points?
At the time I thought that. Listen.
What is the Sportscast? Welcome to the SportsNStuff show, the Kings of Sports, or Kings of Comedy. I'm Adam.
And I'm Carter.
And let's get right into it. That was...
Not rusty at all.
Us coming back, it wouldn't be the same if we didn't have technical difficulties. So normally we record Wednesday from 3 to 4, or Monday, Wednesday. Today's Wednesday. So I got a new camera for us to record on, and the camera lens, because I even know nothing about cameras, so that was a mistake to start off with. I ended up buying a camera, but it sucked, so I had my grandma return it and then give me another one. And this one's better, and this one was like $1,000 or something. But the camera, like the lens for it, it's really zoomed in, and I didn't realize that until before we started to record. And the only lens that we had in the studio was this one that Taya had at her apartment. So I had to drive there, and that was a fun time. But we got a new mixer board too over there. So that should be fun to like roll out as well for like if we wanted to do like just random things in the video. So that should be fun. From this point on, we're probably going to be more we're going to get like a little bit more consistent and more updates, or like more improvements, I guess, to this show. So it should be really fun. Only up from here. So yeah. I think that's all the updates.
Oh, we hit 10K over break.
I think we hit beforehand.
Was it? I could have sworn it was over break.
I don't remember. We hit 10K eventually. It was sometime.
At some point we did.
Yeah. So
I think we're at like 10.5 now.
Yeah, I think so. But I think we're going to be pushing more YouTube, I guess, with the whole episodes and like the clips and everything. So yeah, should be really awesome. I'm still glad we got 10K. We're still just, minor improvements. But yeah, we're back as well. I think our first semester at Boise State started this week. Nothing really different. I feel like classes always suck, and then I'm always like, I wish this was just like a class. Like I didn't have to do the classes of college. I just was able to do this. Like,
well, yeah, I think everyone wishes they didn't have to do that part.
Yeah, and it kind of sucks too because like, I feel like for me specifically, my major kind of sucks to the point where it's like, this is kind of my major. So, yeah. Any updates from you? Like what happened over break? Nothing. You got tattoos.
I got a tattoo over break.
I swear you got like 3 or 4. I feel like you always were posting at like.
I got 1, but I got 2 over Thanksgiving break.
Oh, I felt like you like kept on posting like always like you at the barber shop or like, you at the tattoo place or whatever.
Well, I only got 1 new one. It was a little spur of the moment, but I love it.
What is it?
It's a snake wrapped around a sword on my tricep, completed my half sleeve.
Oh yeah.
But it's sweatshirt weather outside right now, so.
Yeah, I wasn't as interesting. I don't even have a tattoo.
That's all I did. Other than that, I played basketball every day, and that's it.
Man, but yeah, it wasn't really that interesting. I had my cousins from California come in, and I've never seen, like, I only saw them. I saw the youngest one, who is 6 now, when he was just born. So, like, it's been, like, 5 or 6 years. And the other one's 8, so he was, like, 3 or 4 or something. And it was so weird because, like, I don't know. It was, like, there's so many parallels between me and my brother that I saw with them. And it was just, like, but we're also babysitting the whole time, so it was kind of like, that was the sucky part, but yeah. But anyways, we're back with the sports episode, so We didn't have the chance to cover Boise State, I don't think, because our last one was a Steph episode. So
Right.
yeah, on to Boise State.
Yeah. Well, the football team. This feels like forever ago
I
now,
know.
but won the bowl game over North Texas by 3.
That was way closer than it should have been.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
Jainty and Green both balled out on the ground, and honestly, that was kind of all that was notable in the box score.
Yeah.
It was a pretty entertaining game to watch. North Texas they seemed a little dirty.
Yeah.
I don't know. They
did.
a couple cheap shots there, but ended up getting the win, and then got some good news that Halani's going to be returning next year. So that 3-headed rushing attack is going to be back for another season.
I just saw that JL Skinner, he got invited to the Reese's Senior Bowl.
Mhm.
So I was like, whew. And then funny story, the other photographer that works here, I'm close friends with them, and they texted me yesterday about how they posted a photo of JL Skinner, and then JL Skinner reposted it on his story. It asked for the photos in DMs, and then posted it on his like account, and then followed her. And
Nice.
I'm like, dude, I've been trying this for him to follow me for like the past like a solid year and a half.
After the Wyoming game, I put something on my Instagram story and like tagged him in the story, and he liked the story. He didn't follow me, but you know.
Yeah. I had one time where I was in the press box and I saw it was against Oklahoma and the guy was trying to fight him. And I posted a video and was like, they don't want the smoke, jail.
Dude,
But
after this game, I posted the final score and tagged North Texas.
Oh,
and
yeah.
the North Texas football account saw it, so that
That's
made
so
me
funny.
happy.
Like,
Yeah.
oh well.
Other than football, basketball team looks pretty good. Like,
Yeah.
we
We
were supposed.
destroyed Utah State. That was
It
the
wasn't
biggest
close.
thing.
Yeah, won by 23, I think.
Mhm.
On the road against UNLV tonight, which is a pretty big game. Both teams 11-4, I want to say. Yeah, I mean, the team is better than we expected it to be.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem to be that much worse than last year. I still would give the edge to last year's team as of now, but team looks pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
And we're almost halfway through the regular season, so.
Yeah. I think it'll be interesting because we carried a ton of momentum last season to where we don't really have that luxury this season because no one really cared for the basketball team at the beginning of the season last year. And then we went on the streak, and then the streak got crazy. Everyone was talking about us. And then we carried the streak momentum, even though we lost it. We carried that like momentum that was built up into the championships, which we ended up, winning. And I think that's something we lack this year is that kind of like hype momentum that is kind of built
I don't know
up.
if that's necessarily a problem, though. We've been more consistently good than last
Yeah,
year.
that's true.
Because last year it was a lot of ups and not a lot of downs, but there were some downs and
The
losing
downs were
streaks,
really bad.
especially the beginning of the year.
Oh, the free throws. Do you remember that?
Yeah,
That was so bad. We had like 53 free throw.
it was rough, man.
attempts.
Every week we would get on here and
Yeah.
talk about free throws, but
It was so bad.
yeah, I would say the lows haven't been as low this season. Highs haven't been as high.
We've been a little
but
bit more
they've been
consistent,
consistently
just in
good.
general.
Because it started off super slow last year.
I don't-
And it wasn't quite as bad this year.
I'm still nervous about like March Madness. Do you think we'd get in?
If the season ended today, no. But long way to go.
It will be interesting to see because
The Mountain West is a good basketball conference this year.
yeah.
Like, not just because they play bad team. Like, this is a good conference this year.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be surprised if 4 or 5 Mountain West teams make the tournament.
I think only
depending on
3
who
last
wins it.
time. Us, San Diego State, and then Colorado.
Wyoming made it.
No, I think didn't they do like the play-in thing?
I mean, that counts.
Does that count?
They
Okay.
made it. Yeah. But I wouldn't be surprised if 4 or 5 teams make it. And as we know, the conference champion gets an automatic bid. So that's the most surefire way for a team like us to make it, is to win the conference championship. But
Mhm.
yeah, since the Mountain West is good, you're gonna have a lot of opportunities to earn like key wins. So
Yeah.
there is a universe where we don't win our championship but still make the tournament. But if the season ended today, we wouldn't be in, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think it's I was kind of thinking about this a little bit. going back to like the football team, everyone over break was talking about how they're afraid of Talon transferring. But then he ended up posting, I think it was like 2 days before Christmas, like Broncos country, let's ride
Yeah.
or something.
It was
Kinda
like his
confirming.
Asian or something that did something stupid and said some dumb thing on Twitter, and it didn't have any legs. It wasn't actually true.
Yeah, like I think if I'm pretty sure Talon's going to stay. I don't think there was any
Yeah, I don't think there's any. I think it was his mom that came out on Twitter and said like, yeah, Talon's not going anywhere.
Well, I don't think there was any really reports. No one was hearing about Talon like wanting to transfer or anything like that.
I think
it was just speculation. Just
I think
because,
he just made it up.
Yeah, like I think people just made that thing up because they thought, upcoming star, he has to transfer. Like I think that's what kind of built it off of it because kind of like upcoming stars normally head to other places.
This is not a bad situation though, because with the new playoff rule going into effect, and the top ranked group of 5 champion getting an auto bid, I think it is this next season.
I thought it was 2024.
I did too, but someone was telling me that it was next season. Either way, it'll be while Talon's here.
Yeah.
And so he'll have a legitimate chance to host a playoff game.
Yeah.
At this school. And we got several like Power 5 transfers.
Yeah.
Through the portal, and
Holani's keep staying. And then we have like the top 3 with Gen
flipped a couple.
Alistair,
McAllister. We flipped a couple people's commitments, like one from Nevada, one from Fresno, flipped to us.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Team looks pretty good, man.
Yeah, should be really interesting, I think. But heading on to normal, college football playoffs.
Yeah,
this was crazy.
For a while, it looked like the best college football playoff by far.
Yeah,
and then
until the championship game happened.
Then the championship happened. Yeah. So in round 1, Jonah was right.
Yeah.
TCU upset Michigan 51-45. I don't know how that happened. Well, I do know. TCU's defense scored twice.
Yeah.
Michigan, it was.
JJ McCarthy looked up and down.
Very
the
up
whole
and very down.
Game.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah, and the downs really cost him.
Yeah.
And no one could tackle, especially on the Michigan side. Yep. Michigan's defense and like secondary have been much better than this all year, and then they let Quentin Johnson take a 2-yard drag route 80 yards to the house. Like,
yeah, that was crazy.
That was where the game kind of ended to me.
Well,
but
I think the issue was, and this you kind of see this sometimes, where bad reffing results in a loss of momentum.
Yeah, I guess. But I don't think you can blame it on the refs.
Yeah, I mean,
I think Michigan lost this game.
In this scenario, I feel like it is because they had so many chances to come back too.
Yeah.
Like, I think even because it got really close by the end.
The call most people are arguing is obviously the touchdown versus down at the 1 call, which can be argued. It's debatable.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a clear answer there. I would have probably kept it a touchdown. I don't think there's enough to... Because it was called a touchdown on the field. Yeah. So I don't think they should have overturned it. But I can see the logic in overturning it. I can see it.
Yeah. I felt like he bobbled it, and then he got actual possession in the end zone.
Probably, yeah. That being said, you got the ball 1st and goal on the 1-yard line. And fumbled it away.
That's kind of your fault.
You don't deserve the touchdown.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. You had the chance. You had to get like 5 inches to get in the end zone.
Yeah, and they put it like right there too. It wasn't like
right.
It wasn't. It was.
You could have
not like a solid yard.
That in your sleep, but
oh well.
Yeah, so I don't think the refs are fully to blame. But
what do you think about people saying, "Oh, now that TCU got blown out, this is a reason why they shouldn't have been in the playoffs"?
No. Okay. Here's how I see it. They deserved to be in the playoff, and they deserved to be in the championship, but they weren't one of the 4 best teams in the country, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, resume-wise, they went undefeated, okay? They beat some really good teams, and then they won the semifinal game. They deserved to be there, but they obviously were not a top 2 team in the country.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think if Michigan and TCU played 5 times, Michigan wins 4 of them.
Yeah.
TCU got them at the right time, and credit to them. TCU and Ohio State's the better team.
Yeah.
I would say Bama would beat TCU head to head. Yeah, they weren't a top 2 team, but they deserve to be there. So I think it goes both ways.
I think it's interesting because everyone I see is discrediting TCU because they got blown out. But it's like they beat Michigan. They got there. Like,
Yeah, I mean, they deserve to be there.
yeah.
They just
I think it was
got
just
beat by a better team.
I think it was just a really bad matchup for TCU. If they played Ohio State, I think they would have been a better matchup for TCU.
It should have been Georgia TCU in the first round. I don't think there's any reason TCU should have been the 3 and Ohio State the 4.
Yeah. I think it was just
should have
because
been
of
Ohio State Michigan first round versus and TCU Georgia, and then Ohio State Georgia in all likelihood in the championship, I think.
And I mean, Ohio State was just one field goal away from beating Georgia. And
right. So yeah, Georgia survived Ohio State 42-41. It was a last-second field goal, like as the clock struck midnight in Ohio.
Crazy,
and it like landed as the ball dropped, which is crazy.
Yeah, it was.
It wasn't close. He hooked it way left.
Yeah,
Stroud and Stetson Bennett put on a show. Like that was incredible. Stetson Bennett had like 4 touchdowns, I think, and Stroud balled out. Stroud, for like the first time ever, showed that he could run, which was cool. Yeah, great game, and was ultimately the national championship, if we're being honest.
Yeah.
Both of those teams were winning.
Yeah. I think that was, I didn't really give much credit to Michigan. I didn't think they were going to be that good enough to win. I did have a worry if they were to win and Ohio State were to win. I don't know because
that could have gone either way.
Yeah, that would have been an interesting matchup.
I kind of wanted to see that.
Yeah,
but
that would have been
Georgia
crazy.
was just far and away the best team.
Yeah, I think so too.
They're building something really special.
Man,
and
with
as we
TCU
said,
for the next 5, I'm just kidding. Or with Stetson Bennett.
Georgia beats TCU 65-7 in the championship.
Yep.
Georgia opened up a 10-0 lead, and then TCU scored a touchdown, and we're like, okay, they're fighting, like maybe, and then
instantly right after,
and then
scores
Georgia
another.
scored 55 in a row.
Yeah.
So yeah,
They even went for it on 4th down. Like,
I love it. I love it.
It was bad. It was
Kirby Smart, man. I gotta love him. Stetson Bennett put up 6 total touchdowns in his final college game at the ripe old age of 45. He's 25.
All of those memes are so funny.
He's 25. I am really curious to see what happens to him in April.
I don't think. Okay.
I mean, he's 25 and a lower ceiling quarterback, so you wouldn't think he's drafted.
I don't.
But
I
there's
could
a chance
see-
he could sneak into day 3, I think.
I don't think he's going as early as day 3 or as late as day 3. I think
he's not going to be a
team-
top 3 round pick.
It's rough because I could see an argument for him going earlier on because, yeah, he did have a really great season. He is older, which does mean that he's
he'll be
more
26
mature.
this season.
Yeah,
That
but
also means he's in his prime.
I mean, with Kenny Pickett, like
Kenny Pickett was 22, 23 maybe.
I
At
think
least 2 years
quarterbacks
younger.
care a little bit, or teams will care a little bit more about maturity than younger. I think some teams will care about that.
I think age is a big deal.
Yeah, but everyone makes a big deal about everything. Like small hands, people make a random
That's a
argument.
big deal.
Yeah, but what Joe Burrow with his hands? Everyone said he had super small hands, and then all of a sudden, he's AC championship. Kenny Pickett
Yeah, he's great.
looks really good, and he has small hand. What? You cannot say Kenny Pickett hasn't
really
looked
good.
He's looked good. He's looked good.
He had a couple good drives in a game.
He's as a rookie.
He made some impressive throws.
Yeah, it's
He
not
has
like
not looked good though.
it's not like his hands were the end all be all of that. Like,
Who knows?
that's kind of ridiculous.
That was a valid concern. He fumbled like 100 times in college and had tiny hands. That was a
think-
valid thing to be worried about.
I think Stetson Bennett, teams aren't going to care that he's 25 years old
I
because
disagree.
especially now, you get an extra 1 or 2 years for college quarterbacks. Like, I mean, quarterbacks are playing until they're 35, 36, so you're still going to have a solid 10
He's gonna
years
be
with them.
30 years old at the end of his rookie contract.
I think that's perfectly
30.
fine. people are going to be like, okay.
He's already in his prime.
I think it's a good. People are gonna feel like it's gonna be a fine opportunity for
If
them.
he gets drafted, it should be like 6th round at the earliest.
I think
Earliest.
I don't think he's going 6th round. I
There's
think
a
he has to go
lot
earlier
of
than that.
there's several quarterbacks that should go well before him.
I think maybe quarterback should, but by the fact that Georgia made it to the championship and won it back to back, and he was on the best team.
I don't think that really matters that much.
I think it does. Like, I think it shows, like, he was on the best team
draft
and he
is-
was able to do really
The
well.
draft is much less about actual college success now and more about physical traits, and he doesn't have that.
I
Look at
think-
Will Levis. Kentucky
Yeah.
wasn't very good this year. Will Levis himself wasn't that good this year, and he probably will be a top 10 pick.
Yeah, I think that is a sign that he's not going to do as well. I don't think Will Levis is going to do well. I think he has bus rhythm all over him, if I'm
Yeah,
going to be
that's what
honest.
everyone said about Josh Allen.
No, but I think Josh Allen is a little bit different. I think
Josh
with
Allen
Will,
was not very good coming out of college.
I think
He was not a good prospect.
I don't know.
But
It's-
he had tools like Will Levis does, like Anthony Richardson does. They have tools, and that's what teams are looking for.
I think with quarterbacks it's really hard to tell because
Well,
I
yeah,
mean
no one ever knows.
I think it really matters more about where you land than it does where, like, I mean, it
Maybe not
depends on the
more,
success.
but they both definitely matter a lot.
Like, I think if Zach Wilson landed on a team that wasn't the Jets, I think he would do a little bit better. I think he'd be
Okay,
decent.
yeah,
like,
better.
well, if he landed on the Patriots, I think he would do all right. I think
Maybe.
if the Jets, I think the reason is because he just forces throws. Like, I don't.
He did that in college too.
Yeah, like I mean, I don't know. It's
That
really hard to
wasn't
tell.
it. He did that in college. It was just working because he wasn't playing against
He was playing
great
for BYU.
competition.
Yeah, like I mean, we'll just have to see. I'm pretty sure we'll go a little
Like
bit
Zach
more
Wilson at 2, he's
He
creative.
should not have gone for 2. I'm just
And why
like-
is that? Because his physical traits were not there. The arm his arm
Well,
is
I
just
don't
isn't
think-
there.
I don't think it was more of a knock on him. I think if anything, he shouldn't. I think Justin Fields should have been the second quarterback off
Lawrence
the board.
was locked into one, as he should
I
have
think
been.
it should have been Lawrence Fields, and that's how it
I
should have
think
been.
Wilson should have been the worst of the 5, honestly.
I think Mac Jones had an argument. I think it should have been at least off the board if you count it. I think it should have been, Lawrence Fields. I'm fine with Lance being there, and I think maybe it's iffy between Zach Wilson and Mac Jones.
Going into that draft, I had Lawrence, Fields, Lance, Mack, Wilson.
And I think that's kind of fair. Like,
That's what I had going in. Obviously, most of that is still a question mark, except we know Zach Wilson sucks. And Mac Jones is eh. Trevor Lawrence is going to be really good.
yeah.
He's already good. Fields and Lance are completely up in the air. They could be. Who
I feel like
knows?
Fields is going to be good. Okay.
Maybe, but he wasn't good this year.
We have to talk about this.
He made some good runs. He wasn't good.
He made good. I think he made good throws some games,
Yeah,
and then other games
absolutely.
was bad.
He had plenty of good throws, but he had a lot of bad ones.
Yeah,
His last game of the year was the Lions. What did he do? 7 of 25. That
Yeah.
was his. Yeah,
um,
threw a pick to Aiden Hutchinson.
I think this kind of brings up the argument. So you're the Bears. You have the first overall pick. Do you pick do you pick Bryce Young and then Bryce Young? Okay, this is the thing that is irritating. You don't hear. We probably will later on, but I think Bryce Young isn't he like 5'8"?
No,
Like 5'10"?
he's listed at 6.
There's no way he's 6
I would
foot.
say he's probably more like 5'11",
5'10",
5'10".
5 like, and
He's
if-
listed at 6, and he's like 185 pounds.
I think that's more of a knock
tiny. He's tiny.
than like.
Physical traits,
hands.
like I'm saying, physical traits.
But it's like I don't know. It's weird.
He was incredible in college, and he had team and individual success. But you think he should be knocked down because of his size? That's what I'm saying. Physical traits.
But
that
then
matters.
it's like
That ma-
production. Though,
I wouldn't
at the
be
end Of the day.
surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if he falls down a board because of traits. That's how it works.
But then, like at the end of the day, like do traits really mean much if you're still
Absolutely.
producing? Like Devontae
yes.
Smith.
Yes,
Devontae
they do.
Smith's doing really well.
They absolutely mean something.
Like, I think it'll be interesting to see, but I don't know.
Look at Zach Wilson. He produced in college. He produced a ton in college. He didn't have the arm strength. He didn't have the accuracy.
Yeah,
He
but
doesn't
it
have
was
the IQ. And now he stinks.
the matter of production compared to like Bryce Young, where Bryce Young was playing against NFL players.
Look how much
like,
Mac Jones produced.
Well, Mac Jones.
Mac produced at an elite level in college.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
It just, I think traits matter more. Like Anthony Richardson is probably going to be a first-round pick or a high second-rounder. He was not that great this year. And Florida was also not that great. But Anthony Richardson has the ceiling to be a top 5 quarterback in the league. He has a ridiculous arm. He's huge and he's ridiculously fast. Like that's what teams want. And we're going to talk a lot about the draft before the draft happens, which I'm excited for because I'm a draft nerd. I'm going to be very high on Anthony Richardson. I can tell you that right now. Higher than most people. But anyway, to answer your question, if I'm the Bears, it really depends who's offering and what they're offering. Because, like, the Colts have pick 4.
Dude, the Colts, they're joking about, like, the Colts intentionally throwing that game so they could trade up for the first pick.
It genuinely wouldn't surprise me. But the Colts, Chris Ballard, has been very vocal that, like, he will move heaven and earth to get to 1 if he feels that Young or Stroud is their guy. So, if you're the Bears, if you trade back to 4 from 1, realistically, you're probably looking at you pick up another first, you pick up another 2 or 3.
Yeah.
That's huge to move down 3 spots. So then QB goes 1. Pick 2 is the Texans. What do the Texans do after that? If they like both quarterbacks, they could take the other one.
I think they're taking Stroud.
Or they could trade down. Let's say they go Stroud. Let's say it goes Bryson Stroud. Pick 3. Who's pick 3? Cardinals.
Are the Cardinals?
I think they moved up to 3.
Is it I thought it was the Lions for the longest time. But I think
they fell a little.
Yeah.
I think that's the Cardinals at 3. Cardinals, they go Will Anderson. They need help on the edge after J.J. Watt retired. They needed help before J.J. Watt retired. And then the Bears at 4 fall into Jalen Carter, who is the best player in the draft as of now, I think. So you have a chance to get Will Anderson or Jalen Carter at 4, who you should take at 1 anyway, and pick up extra picks. I think you got to trade down.
But you also have to put into effect, there's a reason why the Bears have been notoriously bad. And
there's a lot of reasons.
The Texans have been notoriously bad. And that's just because bad decisions. Like, I mean, I kind of knocked you on like the Stingley thing last time. Like,
nah, he's nice.
I think Gardner should have been the clear pick there, but it's just
Gardner definitely had a better
thing.
year, but I don't think that Stingley was a bad pick. Stingley was good when he was on the field.
Right over Sauce right afterwards. I think it should have been Sauce first.
I agree with you that Sauce should have gone first, but Stingley was not a bad pick. Like, Stingley is a good player. But yeah, bad teams stay bad. That's kind of how it works.
Yep.
But I don't know. We've seen some teams get out of that. The Jags seem to be getting out of that.
I like the Bills too.
I mean,
you pick a
they were never.
And then
Would you say they were poverty?
I don't know if they're.
When I say
like
bad teams stay bad, I'm talking like Jets. You know.
Yeah, that's true. Like Jaguars.
Yeah,
Jaguars are up.
We're gonna get a lot into the draft. I'm gonna do probably 15 mocks. If I can figure out how to work a TikTok, I'll make a bunch of draft TikToks.
Yeah,
it's great. I've already dove in a little bit to the prospects. I'm looking at receivers right now, trying to choose a wide receiver 1 between Quentin Johnson, JSN, Addison. After that, I'll probably go quarterbacks and then D-line. But, dude, I'm excited. This is honestly my favorite time of the year when it's playoffs and draft season. This is peak NFL. But bouncing back to college a little bit, there are some. I put my top 10 for next year, which is way too early.
Yeah.
Okay? There's still a lot that can change.
LSU too?
No, this isn't in order.
Oh, I was like, what?
Not in order.
Okay, all I see is Georgia and then LSU. I'm like, dude.
Well, the first one's in order.
Yeah.
I think Georgia needs to be ranked at 1. They're starting a dynasty, and they're going to lose a lot of guys, but they lost a lot of guys last year. I believe in...
Dude, and their tight ends are absolutely stacked.
Yeah, they're going to have Bowers back. Oh, Another great example of physical traits is Georgia's other tight end. He's not very good, but he could be incredible. He's 6'7", 270 at tight end.
Yeah.
He's going to be a first or second. Anyway.
Well, I feel like going for like intangibles leads you to whiff a ton. Like,
sure, yeah. But it also leads you to taking Patrick Mahomes at 10.
That's true.
Instead of Mitch, who had one good productive season, right?
Well, I don't even think that should have gone. I think it should have been. If I'm going to be honest, I didn't really hear much of Mahomes during that time. I think it should have been Deshaun, first quarterback. Like
Mahomes is a great example of like he has it. It just wasn't all the way put together, especially team wise.
Yeah.
Like at Texas Tech stunk, and I mean, coached by Cliff. What do you expect? Anyway, Georgia's a recruiting monster right now. They've won back-to-back. They're going to be an attractive destination. Kirby's awesome. Georgia should be well in the mix. I think LSU is in my preseason top 10. Daniels returns, which probably caused Keyshawn Boutte to leave, but it is what it is. And they have the best defender in the SEC in Harold Perkins, and that's not even close anymore now that Carter and Anderson are leaving. LSU's going to be in there. USC, they have Caleb Williams.
Yep.
That's all. Their offense is going to be great. Their defense is going to be shaky. It's a Lincoln Riley team. What do you expect? Florida State, they ended the year scorching hot. Jordan Travis is returning for one more year, and I think he's going to be a dark horse Heisman candidate and a guy who can be talked into the first round next year. Jordan Travis is electric. Michigan, Blake Corum, surprisingly, is returning. They added a ton of people through the portal. I think Harbaugh is going to stay, and they're going to be motivated after back-to-back first-round exits. Penn State loses Sean Clifford, but they got a 5-star slot and right in at QB, and they got a two-headed backfield of two sophomores that are excellent together. They also had a great year this year, should be building on it. Ohio State, they got the best receiver in the country in Marvin Harrison, and they're going to have a QB battle for the first time in a while, but I think the winner of McCord and Brown will have some success. Alabama, pretty much just here because they're Alabama.
Yeah.
This is the first time in a long time where Alabama feels like they don't have the talent to be the best team in the country. I can't remember the last time that was the case, but Bryce Young covered up a lot of flaws on that team. They need to click, or they could get exposed this year. But they could also, who knows? Saban is a wizard. I put UW in here. I didn't think Penix was going to return, but now that he is, you watch out for UW. They ended the year super hot as well. They had the bowl win over Texas. Yeah, Penix, maybe a dark horse for Heisman, maybe. He'll have some games that'll put him in the mix. And then Tennessee, they're obviously losing Hooker and Hyatt, which sucks, but Joe Milton might be better than Hooker. Joe Milton is a great definition of physical traits. Like his accuracy, not really there. But the dude, have you seen him play at all?
No.
Most effortless arm strength I've ever seen. He sits there and just flicks the ball and it goes 65 yards. And we saw that as they were able to beat Clemson in the Orange Bowl. So those are my 10 I'm watching going into the year. But who knows? Oregon could show up. That's all I can think of other than those 10, honestly, is Oregon.
Yeah, I mean, I think it shouldn't be as different as, like, this. And, I mean, I think top 10 might be a stretch. I think, like, top 15, top 20, like, you have Oregon State, you have Oklahoma State, you have...
Oregon State got DJ, too. It could be interesting.
I think Oregon State might be pretty good. They were pretty good last year.
South Carolina
beating Florida 40 to what was that?
Smoked them.
What was the thing that you said about, if Florida played Oregon State, they would win by 100 points?
At the time I thought that. Listen, they opened the year. Richardson looked good. They beat Utah. I'm like, okay, they're legit. Then they stunk.
That was like halfway through the season, though. Like I was like, Oregon State should be good, and then all of a sudden,
no, we said that after
it was like
2
in
weeks.
October. It was like in October.
2 weeks in.
It was like October.
No,
and I was like, I don't know. I think Oregon State. I was like, I think it would be a close game. I didn't expect a blowout. Like,
see, I did just the wrong way. Florida was not very good this year, man.
That was so fun when I saw that.
Those
Because I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, I get
Man,
it. All
what are
right.
the
I
odds?
miss sometimes. I also hit sometimes. We all do. Okay.
That was like a
Anyway.
whiff.
On to the NFL.
Oh, it's really sad news.
Well, it's more good news
Or it's
now.
like it was sad
Obviously,
news. Yeah.
while we were gone, DeMar Hamlin collapsed
That
on
was
the field.
crazy.
Cardiac arrest. His heart stopped twice that night. The athletic trainers were able to literally save his life. He stayed in the hospital in Cincinnati for a while. He's now back in Buffalo, recovered, breathing on it. Not all the way recovered, but recovering, breathing on his own. And his GoFundMe is at nearly $9 million. I think this is it seems like he's going to be okay. I don't know.
Do you think you would play like?
I've definitely not this year, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, the doctors were saying that they think he has a good chance to be back to who he was before that game started, which would mean he could play. I don't know. I mean, I'm
But
not.
the mental toll too
Oh yeah,
of playing, that's
Yeah.
the biggest issue. I
Yeah.
think like any ACL tear, if you've talked about anyone about who's had an ACL tear or just a big injury, it's really hard to play again because you just don't trust your body anymore.
well, and I feel like it's worse with this because an ACL tear, like it's gonna happen when you're planting, right? Like you
This
kind
could
of
happen anytime.
right. Like that was such a routine play, and his heart stopped. So I would imagine there's a huge mental block there. But all credit to him, man. Like these professional athletes are like superhuman. Like the fact that he's already this recovered so fast is crazy to me. But
Just the roids. I'm just kidding.
good for him. Yeah.
I think okay. I wouldn't be surprised if I see him play. If I was him, I would not play again.
Ever?
I don't think I would ever play again. I think it'd be too much of a mental toll and too much of a scare for my family at that point. But for him, he's a different breed than me.
It's what he loves
Like
to do.
he
you
loves
know?
to do that, and that's the thing. Like even Ryan Shazier, he tried to play after he was paralyzed on the field.
Right.
Like those football players, they do it for a reason, and they
I
absolutely
think
love
that
football.
Hamlin's thing, again, not even close to a doctor, could be totally wrong. I think Hamlin has a better chance to recover to 100% than Shazier.
Yeah.
Shazier can still barely walk.
Mhm.
Like, yeah, I think he'll be able to play again physically. I think it is just about where his priorities lie at that point.
Yeah.
And I couldn't fault him either way. But yeah,
This seems like a Rocky or Creed type of
yeah.
thing where like significant injury and then it's like all of a sudden, but oh well.
So with the last 2 weeks happening, the playoffs are set. The Chiefs get a bye in the AFC, Eagles in the NFC. In the AFC, the wild card matchups are Bills Dolphins, Bengals Ravens, Jaguars Chargers. In the NFC, it's Niners Seahawks, Vikings Giants, and Bucks Cowboys. Buccaneers sneak in under 500 because why not? Yeah.
Packers.
So we'll go through our predictions here, and you can let us know what you think because we'll probably have some unpopular picks.
Yeah. I think we could go over the matchups first for the wild card at least because our matchups are going to be different. So we could
Yeah,
go like head to
okay.
head.
So Bills Dolphins we'll talk about first.
Yep.
Dolphins are coming in. Looks like they're going to be starting Skylar Thompson.
Yeah, 2 isn't cleared yet.
And I don't know if we need to say anything other than that.
Yeah.
The Dolphins have completely collapsed after it was after they lost to
I'm
Brock
surprised
Purdy.
they snuck in.
You know.
I thought, if I'm going to be honest, because they did not play a good game against the Jets.
No, they've won
I
11-6.
I thought the Steelers were actually going to make it.
It looked like it.
It was very close.
I
would have
think
much preferred the Steelers in the playoffs if I'm going to be
Steelers,
honest.
Dolphins, Patriots, whoever made it, it was just a competition of who loses to Buffalo, if we're being
Yeah.
honest here. With Skylar Thompson in, Tyreek Hill banged up, Mostert broke his thumb. I just don't think they have a chance, so I'm taking the Bills.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm taking the Bills too. I don't think there's really much explanation. I don't think there's any chance the Dolphins win.
I get there's like always a chance, but there's a couple games this week where it doesn't seem
No.
like there's a chance.
Yeah,
Speaking of, Bengals Ravens. It doesn't look like Lamar's playing.
yeah.
It does not look like he's going to play. He was hurt like 40 days ago now,
It's also
and he's not back. It's
Yeah.
got to be somewhat contract related, I think.
It's also very demoralizing to lose to a team that badly and then have to play them the exact same way
Yeah.
next week.
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
normally in
I
those
don't even know what you do at quarterback. Huntley or Anthony Brown. I think it's got to be Huntley if he's all good to go. I just don't think it matters. I really don't.
Yeah,
The Bengals are they're on the second biggest win streak in the league. The Ravens are not. I just don't think that's going to be close.
Yeah, I think I would have to go Bengals here too. I mean, it's very hard to come over yeah, we lost by what? Wasn't it like 20 points? Like it wasn't close.
Yeah,
Like
I didn't watch a whole lot of that game for
it
being
was
real.
really bad, but yeah, I think Bengals there. I think two really easy picks there.
Yeah. This one's a little closer.
Yeah.
We got the Chargers and the Jaguars in Jacksonville. And I mean, I'm excited for this quarterback matchup. We got Herbert and Lawrence, two pretty awesome young quarterbacks. It's going to be in Jacksonville, and Jacksonville was electric for the game against the Titans last week. So I think it's going to be a great environment. I'm expecting a really good game out of this one. I'm going to give the edge to the Chargers. I think they're a more talented team. Of the two very good quarterbacks, I think they have the better quarterback. I really hope Mike Williams is full go. If not,
I think that kind of makes or breaks their whole playoff run, if I'm going to be honest. Mike Williams.
I don't know.
Losing
like
a receiver that big,
But I'm going to lean Chargers. I'm going to go Chargers here, but I think it's going to be a good game.
Yeah. I think either this game or the Cowboys-Bucks game is going to be the best game of the week.
Really?
I think those
Cowboys-Bucks is going to be the worst game.
I think that one's going to be a good one.
I think it's going to be like 19 to 7 or something. That's going to be so boring.
I mean, it very may well be. I just think, I don't know, the Cowboys-Bucks games tend to be interesting, I feel like.
The one this year stunk, didn't it?
I thought it was good. I thought it was...
Yeah, it was close, but it was bad.
Yeah, maybe. And then the year before, it was like 35-32 or something.
Yeah, that one was good.
So, I don't know. I think this one might be good, but I think Chargers-Jaguars, it's really hard because I want to put the Chargers all the way because they were my Super Bowl pick from the beginning of the year. So, it's like... I don't know.
My Super Bowl pick now is...
I got to pick them over the Jags.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My Super Bowl pick now is my preseason Super Bowl pick. I'm feeling good.
Yeah, well, we obviously know who your pick was.
No, the matchup.
Oh, I was like, obviously you said the 49ers to win.
No, I had 49ers Bills, and I'm sticking with it till it doesn't happen. But it will happen. Anyway, 49ers versus Seahawks for the third time this year.
No.
Niners. I'm trying not to be too confident.
Okay, I'm just saying. I was very confident the Packers are going to destroy the very not that great 49ers. But what happened was, the very last seed.
Here's the difference.
Walked in, Green Bay.
Here's the difference.
Gino. Didn't write him off. Don't write him off.
He's been terrible both games against us. Just dreadful. But
so you're writing him off?
Yes, I am.
He's not going to write back.
As an honest, lifelong Seahawks fan, I think we should extend Geno Smith for 5 years.
I still think it would have been a better game if the Packers would have made it, but...
Yeah, probably.
Oh, well. But especially for the show, too.
Here's the big difference between this year and last year. The Seahawks are limping into the playoffs. They've been playing terrible for weeks. Their Linsanity run, I'm afraid to say, it's over, okay? Geno's not him anymore, all right? It lasted for a couple months. I'm going to look so bad if we lose. I'm going to look so bad.
You're not that guy. And then you just
I'm going to look so bad if we lose.
300 points, 5 touchdowns.
But realistically, the Seahawks have looked really bad lately, and the 49ers are the hottest team in the NFL. Last year, the Niners were coming in hot, and the Seahawks are limping in. I think that's the big difference here. I'm going San Francisco.
Yeah. I mean, I got to go San Francisco here. But
this is a close one for me.
Yeah.
Vikings-Giants.
Well, this is interesting because the Giants lost off of game-winning field goal.
Yeah.
That was really close
It's going to be in Minnesota. I'm going to give the edge to the Vikings. I'm excited for this game. I'm excited to see what Dable can do in the playoffs here. Daniel Jones has had a good year, a year good
Danny
enough to where he
Dimes.
might actually get extended somewhat long term, which is crazy to think about. They're just, the Giants on paper are not as talented. They just aren't. And I think that's going to prevail here, that as well as home field. So I'm going to give it to the Vikings.
You know how like everyone said that like Daniel Jones looked like Eli Manning and they're so similar. Imagine if he slides in and wins a Super Bowl over like Patrick Mahomes or like Josh Allen.
Yeah,
That would be so funny.
that would be ridiculous.
Oh man,
That team
we're gonna
won.
clip this when he wins
That
the Super
team
Bowl.
won because of their incredible defensive line. This D line is not exactly that one, but
Man,
yeah. And then last game.
well, I haven't picked yet.
Oh.
I mean, I'm gonna pick the Giants.
Oh,
I think it's hard to beat the same team twice. If they're very evenly matched like this, I think they're pretty evenly matched, and I'm gonna pick the Giants. Brian Dable. But yeah,
All right. Cowboys Bucks in Tampa. I mean, you always want to give Brady the benefit of the doubt, and it's home field advantage. I get that. They got a good defense. Their offense has been terrible, like just absolutely dreadful. I mean, Brady has been checked down central all
it's been
year.
heavily reliant on Mike Williams. I think it's been very
On
very
Evans.
Mike Evans.
They've
Mike
been
Evans,
relying.
my bad.
Godwin's been getting the ball more. Honestly,
Did
Brady
you
and
see that-
Evans.
Did you see that touchdown that he had?
Well, yeah,
It was-
last
he
week
sailed it,
obviously
like-
Evans went off, but it seems like their timing has been off this year. Leonard Fournette is fat and slow, and I just don't see it for them. I'm taking the Cowboys.
I don't know. I think Tom Brady, he has some wizardry. I could see him being a first round exit, but I'm not going to do it here. I'm picking the Bucks. I think it's yeah. They beat him earlier in the season too, and he's 6-0 against the Cowboys.
Yeah, I don't know how much that actually matters.
Yeah, the Packers were 1-3 against the.
Pretty sure he was undefeated against the Falcons until last week too.
I don't. It does. Playoff Brady is a different breed, so I think
They better hope so, because he has not been good this year. I do not care what the stats say. He has not been good.
I think they could squeak a win there.
They could, but I think Dallas. I think Dallas is going to turn it around. They're kind of fallen off the last few weeks, but I believe in them. Unfortunately.
So you have Bills, Bengals, and Chiefs, Chargers.
Should we just do those next week?
Um,
Or no, we got to get our. Yeah, we'll just keep going.
Yeah.
So
so you have Bills, Bengals, Chiefs, Chargers. I have who do I have? What's my playoff thing? It says down below.
oh yeah,
So mine is
do you have the
Bills,
same in the
Bengals,
AFC?
Chiefs. Yeah. What about and I have 49ers, Bucks, and then Eagles, Giants.
I have Niners, Vikings, Cowboys, Eagles.
Okay. So
Okay, so Bills, Bengals, Chiefs, Chargers. We both have. I'm going Bills over Bengals. I think that they're the better team. I think this would probably be the game of the playoffs. But yeah, I'm gonna go with the Bills and Josh Allen and them to continue their story here.
Mhm.
Chiefs over Chargers. This is what I keep going back and forth on, and I'm not entirely sure what I want to do. The Chiefs are the better team, but it just feels like the Chargers might catch them. You know, I'm gonna go Chiefs. Well, so I'll go Chiefs and Bills in the AFC Championship. In the NFC, I'm gonna take the Niners over the Vikings. I think the Vikings are frauds. I don't think they're that good, and they're gonna have to travel to San Francisco. I just don't see
well,
it.
them. That's first round exit.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think the Giants are frauds too. And then here's my upset of the playoffs, I guess. Cowboys over Eagles in Philly. So I'm going to have the 1 seed being bounced in the first round here. I think the Cowboys take it. I know they barely beat him with Minshew, blah, 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 blah. It's a division game in the divisional round. Anything can happen. I'm going to take the Cowboys to walk in there and shock everybody. So I got Bills, Chiefs, AFC Championship, Niners, Cowboys, NFC Championship.
For me, so I have Bills, Bengals. I'm gonna take the Bills too. I think I I think it's really hard to. I don't know. I think this could go either way. I think it's pretty evenly matched. But I don't want to count out the Bills. I think there's a food chain, it's a weird or food circle where the Bills beat the Bengals beat the Chiefs, and the Chiefs always beat the Bills. I think that's
The
the
Bills beat the
circle.
Chiefs in Arrowhead this year.
What?
Didn't the Bills win on the road against the Chiefs this
Yeah,
year?
but against in the playoffs for I think last 2 seasons, the Chiefs have beat the Bills, and I think the Chiefs in playoff circle, the Chiefs play the Bills, the Chiefs are winning. The Bills plays the Bengals, the Bills are winning, and if the Bengals play the Chiefs, the Bengals. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a circle there. So I think with that, I think the Bills would win. And then here, I'm gonna pick the Chiefs over the Chargers. I sure hope, because I actually hope that the Chargers are a first round exit by the fact that I hope Staley's fired. I really hope he is. If they get Sean Payton, dude.
The offensive coordinator's their issue.
Dude, it's just Staley and
Lombardi is the issue.
both of them. They both need to be fired. If you get rid of Staley and you hire Sean Payton, Sean Payton's clearing house.
Even if you keep Staley and just get a new OC, it's a whole different team.
Yeah, I think so too. But for this case, I'm gonna pick the Chiefs over Chargers. And I always feel like the Chargers always have a chance, but last second they always fall flat
Pretty much
against the Chiefs. So I think that's gonna be the same here. For me, it's Bucks at 49ers. I'm gonna take the 49ers there. I mean, the Bucks kind of look really, really flat. I think they could squeak a win over the Cowboys, but 49ers, nope. So it's Giants at Eagles. I think the Eagles are gonna destroy the Giants. I think it's Jalen Hurts. I think he has a really good playoff run. I think he'll have one. So then for you, it's championship game is who?
We both have Chiefs Bills. You have Eagles Niners. I have Cowboys Niners.
Okay.
I'm taking the Bills over the Chiefs, which I know historically the Chiefs would win, but I believe in the Bills. This game will also be neutral site. If this is the AFC Championship, it's a neutral site game, so no Arrowhead advantage for the Chiefs, which is huge. And I'm going to take the Bills here. I don't have a ton of reasoning because I think they're very evenly matched teams, but I think the Bills pull this one out. And then in the NFC, Dallas travels to San Francisco, and I believe in Dallas, don't get me wrong, but I don't believe in them enough to pick them over my team. I think San Francisco's the better team. Dak is having an interesting season, and I think that kind of run all over their defense that has not been as elite the last few weeks as it has been earlier. So I got Niners, Bills, Super Bowl.
Yep. So for me, I have Chiefs and Bills. I got to go with Mahomes. I think Mahomes is probably a better clutch quarterback than Allen. I think they're both really great. Probably the top two, I feel like, quarterbacks.
Probably.
Yet, I just think Mahomes just has that edge, and I think Mahomes going to win that game.
Yeah.
And then it's Eagles or 49ers at Eagles. I can't put the 49ers in the Super Bowl. I just can't see it. So
That seems a little personal.
I can't. Yeah, it is personal, and I will be fine with that. I'm putting the Eagles over the 49ers.
You got Chiefs, Eagles?
Yeah, so I have Chiefs, Eagles.
All right. I'm taking the Niners over the Bills. I think these are also probably two of the three best teams in the league with the Chiefs. And it's kind of a toss-up. And if I'm being honest here, in a toss-up, I'm not going to pick against my team.
Yeah.
I'm just not. I think the 49ers are the best roster top to bottom in the NFL. And I think that Purdy's legit. I don't think this is a flash in the pan. So I think Brock Purdy raises the Lombardi in Glendale.
Yeah, I'm just saying, felt the exact same way last season.
Yeah, but you had that bum Rodgers. We got Purdy.
Yeah, who needs that 2-time MVP? We got, Brock
Mr.
Purdy.
Relevant.
Yep. I just hope, I hope that the 49ers are first round exit for my sake.
If
Just
we
because
lose to the
of-
Seahawks in the first round, I will never watch football again. I'm sorry. I'm done.
Dude, I've been feeling that after I lost, and after we lost to the 49ers last season. It was like a hangover. Like I just never got over it. Like,
Yeah.
and man, but so it's Eagles, Chiefs. I got to pick the Chiefs. I mean, I really love Jalen Hurts. Don't get me wrong, but I just think the Chiefs. But
So we got Chiefs over Eagles and Niners over Bills.
Yep.
We have very different Super Bowls. It's perfect.
man, yeah, I don't know if we have enough time to
Yeah,
go
we can probably
awards,
do that next week.
but
Because
yeah.
they don't announce them for a few weeks anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I guess
Yeah.
that's all the time we got.
Yep.
We got to make sure to get those playoff predictions on TikTok so we can get exposed
Yeah.
when they're terrible and the Giants win the Super Bowl against the Jaguars or something.
I do have that clip where I said Danny Dimes is going to win the Super Bowl, so post
Fair
what we
enough.
want. Post what we want.
But yeah, we'll get our predictions up there, and you can argue with us in the comments because you'll disagree, of course.
Yep.
On behalf of Adam and I, we want to say thank you for listening to the show. Make sure to follow all our socials at SportsNStuff Show on everything except Twitter, which is SNS_show. Make sure to catch our episodes Wednesdays and Fridays on the University Pulse or on YouTube from 3 to 4 p.m. You can also listen to the show on podcasting platforms after we have finished recording. Yeah, I guess that's all we got, and we'll see you next week.
Peace.